We are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So the the BET Awards happened yesterday. Let me know if you guys tuned in. Now, I will start off with Druski. I'm just gonna give my opinion on him as a host first, before we get into, people's performances and everything. I felt like Druski, he's good at doing skits, but he's really not that funny. I felt like he took a lot of his jokes from what he already saw on X. We already joked about ASAP, the colorist, wearing a thong. He mentioned that. We already joked about Ray J lying that he was on his deathbed. We already talked about that on social media. So I was like, this ain't original. I don't feel like he's that funny. And I feel like the only time I kind of gagged a little bit was when he was complimenting Olandria. But other than that, I was like, eh. Let's start off with Ronald McDonald's performance. Cardi B. She performed her flop diss record, Ugly and Petty, live. People were saying, oh, she gagged Bia. And this is why I think BT's a little bit messy. Because my whole thing is, I'm sure Bia has went to the award shows before, and I feel like they tend to pick sides when it comes to rap beef. They clearly are Team Cardi B. Remember, they said a thing about Nicki Minaj about how Nicki was dragged by her lace front, okay? And this is why Nicki Minaj doesn't go to the EBT Awards anymore. When you're in an award show, you shouldn't pick sides. If Bia get a hit record like she did with A Whole Lot of Money, she not going, okay? She not going to the EBT Awards. I mean, she might, but I wouldn't. Like, if you're going to have somebody perform a diss record, But then again, the industry's messy. Look what happened with Kendrick in the Super Bowl. But Cardi B's performance, she was out of breath, like usual. I saw the OMG girls. I don't know, her dancers, her backup dancers were behind her looking a mess. Unfortunately, she wasn't keeping up with the backtrack. You can hear the backtrack and then you can hear Cardi B say the lyric. I don't think that's, what a good performer should do. If you can't sing without or rap without the backtrack, you're not a good performer, in my opinion. So I'm going to give her performance a negative 200 out of 10. Now, people were complaining, saying that Cardi B copied Nicki Minaj's 2014 BET performance. When I see Cardi B perform, I don't be thinking about Nicki Minaj and vice versa. Because I feel like they have two different performance styles. Now, the motorcycle both being on stage really doesn't mean anything, because at the end of the day, a lot of people have props whether it's going to be a bike or a motorcycle on stage to perform, especially at an award show. Now, Cardi B also performed Every Time, Check Please, and Hello, and fans noticed that she didn't say Latto's name when she was performing Every Time. I think she says in the song, some look like Latto in this motherfucker. She mentions her in the song, but she didn't say it. And allegedly, Scratch Off's team was trying to get Cardi and Scratch Off to keep their distance from each other, because they know how Cardi B likes to threaten and throw objects, not hands, but throw objects at people and threaten people like she did with Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj. So moving on from that, Doja Cat did a tribute for Lauryn Hill. She performed with Nas, and she sounded a fucking mess. She performed 2 songs by Lauryn Hill, and I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like she has the voice to be doing tributes for Lauryn Hill. So unfortunately, I do have to give Doja Cat 50,000 lashes. I don't feel like she should have said yes to doing this tribute. Even if you are a fan of an artist, you got to make sure that your voice matches their sound. Okay, because if it don't, you gonna sound a mess, and that's how she sounded. No shade. Now, the big zebra in Madagascar, Liz Diddy performed That Thing by Lauryn Hill, and I'm gonna give her her twos. She did her thing. I'm gonna give Liz Diddy her twos. That's why I said that Liz Diddy should probably go to Broadway since that music career is flopping. She could just go to Broadway and possibly win a Tony. Okay, I said that on my podcast. Now, I really didn't care for YG Marley and Salah portion of the tribute. I didn't enjoy them at all. Well, I would say the performances were okay. I would say they were okay, but I think that obviously being that they're Lauryn Hill's children, that's why they were able to do the tribute. But that doesn't mean that they should have done it. I think Salah's voice is not up to par. Okay, YG Marley sounded decent, but Salah, not so much in my opinion. But it was nepotism, and I understand why Lauryn Hill probably wanted them to do the tribute, especially since I do believe her daughter wants to get in the music business. But Lauryn Hill, even though I do believe she probably was late to the award show, she did perform X Factor, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was definitely one of the best performances of the night. And then we cannot forget SZA and Doechii. They performed Ready or Not by the Fugees. And Doechii, she killed it. SZA too. They killed it. I love their performance. I can actually see SZA and Doechii eventually doing some sort of joint album. But I thought they killed it. Now, as for the D'Angelo tribute, which was done by Ray, Ari Lennox, Duran Bernard, PJ the Chicago Kid, George Clinton, and the Vanguard, I thought they mostly did a good job. I was more hyped for the Lauryn Hill tribute versus the D'Angelo one, in my opinion, because I've listened to Lauryn Hill a little bit more than D'Angelo. But I thought everyone did a decent job. Good to know that Ray was doing a tribute and not a full-fledged performance of her own music. Doechii won the BET Her Award for Girl Get Up featuring SZA, and she also sent out a warning to some of her haters.
New music is coming soon, and to all the haters that have something to say about me, you better be ready for me to pop back out, because I'm coming with a new single, and it's gonna kill everybody. What's up? Don't ever play with me!
So that's what Doechii had to say. I like Doechii. I think Doechii is extremely talented. I don't think nobody is scared of you dropping a single. It don't matter if there's disses on there or not, because the chance of it flopping is probably 50%. I think Doechii, because she got the TDE backing, she's a little bit delusional. But girl, you are not, that successful. You're not Doja Cat. You're not Nicki. You're not Cardi B. Okay? When you drop a song, the chance of it flopping is like 60 to 70%. No shade. Now, TDE Fruit Punch was not happy with Druski after they were playing the sax while Doechii and SZA were accepting their BET award. And TDE Fruit Punch said that nigga Druski weird for that sax stunt. Now, Druski did say if your speech was too long, somebody was going to end up playing the saxophone. Okay? Now, he also made fun of Camel Face, which, was a key, low key. But some people were upset about that, because Druski came out in a sympathy fro wig. And as we know, the Carters want people to believe, they want people to know that Camel Face is not wearing a wig and his hair is real. And then he had, the Camel Face Brooklyn accent going on. He was, embodying his inner Camel Face. And I know it was a skit. I don't think the Carters are super offended. I think it's mostly the fans that are going to be offended. But I don't think that the Carters really cared that he came out in a sympathy fro. Okay? Because, Druski is a comedian. That's his job. And Druski, he made fun of everybody. You're not immune to making fun of. Okay? He makes fun of everybody. He's a comedian. And that's what I respect about Druski. But I just don't feel like a lot of his jokes were original. Now, Don Toliver performed E85 and Body, which samples Justin Timberlake. And his performance, I love Don Toliver, but it was very much boring. I would never go see Don Toliver live. He had an auto-tune mic and he was just hopping around the stage, and I just wasn't really impressed, in my opinion. Now, in my opinion, I think Baby Keem did a phenomenal job performing Dramatic Girls, Circus Circus Freestyle. He performed Good Flirts with Momo Boyd. And it looks like him and Momo Boyd might have some sort of chemistry. They was kind of, touching up on each other while they was performing. And then he interrupted her interview and was hugging up on her. So I don't know. It seemed like they could possibly be in some sort of PR relationship soon. Okay? Let me know how y'all feel about it. I will say, though, I like Baby Keem, but he cannot sing live. He should just stick to rapping. But overall, I'll give his performance like a 7 out of 10. He did a pretty good job. Now, Tems also performed What You Need. And I'll be honest with you, I always think Tems is a little bit boring. I don't ever really fully enjoy a Tems performance. I do think that she's a phenomenal artist, but a performer, not so much. I think she's very boring, in my opinion. Now, Teyana Taylor was presented with the Icon of the Year award by Janet Jackson, the legend. A lot of people had mixed reactions to Teyana Taylor winning this award. There was some criticism about it. Some people feel like she didn't deserve it. I'm indifferent. I feel like, do I consider Teyana Taylor to be an icon to me? No, but I do think she's extremely talented. And I think it's because she has recently gotten a lot of push in the last year. So that's why she's getting her flowers. And you got to give people their flowers while they're still here. She won a Golden Globe, like I said before. She was nominated for a Grammy. She's been in several movies. She's been doing her thing. So you really can't hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't agree, you can't say that she's not talented. That's one thing you can't do. Now, Teyana Taylor also took home Best Actress at the BET Awards. She also took home Best Video Director of the Year and also Fashion Vanguard Award. So congratulations to Teyana Taylor on that. Now, can we get into the best dresses of the night? We got to start with Olandria. She looked phenomenal. Looking like a tall glass of lemonade. She looked fine, okay? She did an outfit change as well. And she looked good in the second outfit too. I'm like, why she did 2 outfit changes? That was interesting. And then Shelly also looked great. She showed a little bit more skin, so we can't show her full outfit, but I give her look a 10 as well. Then we got to get into Miss Nia Long. That breakup that she had where her ex-fiance cheated on her made her glow all the way up. She been stepping ever since that breakup. She hasn't had a bad look since. Now, Nia Long never looked crazy, but I feel like she's definitely putting in a little bit more effort into her looks now that she's single. Flo Milli also looked amazing. I was really shocked by her look. She looked phenomenal. I was like, I've never seen her look this good. So I like this look for Flo Milli. Serena and Cordell were also one of the best looks of the night, in my opinion. Then Eva Marcel came in hot as well. Okay. She looked like she just came off the fucking runway. Okay, she looked very good. And then as per usual, Kelly Rowland always looks good. She aging like fine wine. I mean, are we really shocked? Kelly Rowland, she always look good. She always pop out looking like a knockout. So in regards to the worst looks of the night, I guess Pissy Face Carisha forgot to spend that bag for some decent looks at the red carpet because what the fuck is this? And then she did an outfit change and it still was a chop. I'm like, you talk about spend that bag and spending money, but are you going to ever spend money to look decent for a red carpet, or are you waiting for Diddy to come back home? I'm confused. I guess she's spending that coin on payola. And then Walmart Yonsei, I don't know what this was. I guess she was going for a Marilyn Monroe type of theme, but it just don't look good because the dress don't go with the hair that she got. It don't go. Something's off. So this was a chop. And then I don't know what the fuck Kalani was doing. I don't know what this was. What the fuck is this? Okay? Kalani, you made too much money with Folded for you to be coming on the red carpet like this. Okay? I don't know what's going on with the budgets over there. Okay? With Carisha and Kalani. Chloe, I wasn't expecting you to have a budget. But y'all need to stop. This is ridiculous. Now, album of the year went to Let God Sort 'Em Out by The Clips. I don't think so. In my opinion, it was an album of the year, but I'm gonna let The Clips have that because it is the BET Awards. Okay, they didn't win that for the Grammys. They didn't even win Best Rap Album at the Grammys. But this is a different type of award show. Then the King of Rap, of course, he won Best Male Hip Hop Artist. Okay, so congratulations to the King of Rap. Then Best New Artist went to Olivia Dean. Now, is Olivia Dean black? I know you don't have to be black to get nominated nowadays, but is she mixed? She one of the Rays and Doja Cats, the mixed breeds in the game, because I'm like, I don't even understand why she was even nominated. But she did deserve, I guess, Best New Artist. She has blew up. Best Group Duo, obviously, is going to go to The Clips, so I agree with that. Congratulations to them. Best Male R&B and Pop Artist went to Leon Thompson. Maybe. I feel like that was 2024. I don't know if 2025 he deserved that title or this award, but I like Leon Thompson, so we should give him something. And last and definitely least, Best Female R&B Pop Artist went to Kalani, and I figured since Folded was so big, it made sense, so they obviously was going to give it to her. But let me know how y'all feel about it, and who was your favorite performer of the night at the BET Awards. Got some very hot tea on Patreon, link will be in the description, and have a great day.